What's going on, guys? My name's Spence,
And I'm Mitch.
and we're two brothers that really love King of the Hill. And today we are on season 2, episode 20, Junkie Business. And it's an interesting episode, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a good one. And it's a good lesson about work ethic, I find. It's a good reminder.
Yeah, and the kind of people playing with the system or bending the rules to their advantage is something that I've personally seen in my workspace. Not to the degree that we see it in this episode, but definitely enough for it to ring true to me.
This has no bearing for me. I've never seen anyone bend the rules like this.
But
It's either go up for work or you get fired kind of thing for me.
fair enough. First off, the episode opens up with Hank winning Employee of the Month. What is it, 47 or 49 times in a row?
I don't know the number, but I think it was in the 40s. Yeah.
Something like that.
It was over
But,
3 years. I was doing the math in my head.
3 consecutive years Employee of the Month. And Strickland gives him the opportunity to hire the next member of Strickland Propane. And Hank obviously couldn't be more excited about this opportunity. And he's practicing interviews on Bobby. He asks Bobby some great questions. First off, Bobby throws him off by saying that his wife died a few years ago. But he immediately jumps into asking him his religion, which obviously you can't do in any job interview.
Something I was actually unaware of even until when I watched this episode recently.
Yeah, some of these interviews are great too, where Hank asks, which of the following characters would you want to go to lunch with or something like that?
Yeah.
It's like Muhammad or Jesus.
If you could eat at Luli's with one of the following, would it be A, Jesus, B, Muhammad, C, Golda Meir?
I like this old timer who was always on the welfare too.
Yeah, whatever the Democrats were in the office, he was on the welfare. Dale, of course, has to throw his hat in the ring. Gives him a resume that he writ on a piece of paper and lies that he was the proprietor of Gribble and Sons Propane gas distribution
In Arizona.
And you get one of my favorite Dale quotes of all time, where he says,
Dale, I've known you since we were in first grade.
You don't know me. I am unknowable.
and here, this is where Hank really screws up the job interview. And this was something I remember watching it recently when I was an adult, how obvious they made it that Hank had some sort of attraction to this woman. At first, I remember when I was watching it, I thought it was more ambiguous, but the more times you watch this episode, they make it very clear that Hank's got the hots for her, and Peggy was right.
To be jealous. I worked with Maria Montalvo back in Arizona, so she's no good.
But Hank basically asks her a question about sports, and she has no idea what, she's not interested in sports at all. And there's another great quote here. He's like, she doesn't like sports, so what are we supposed to talk about? Our feelings? She's obviously got the chops to be a grill associate at Strickland Propane.
The credentials.
She's got the credentials. But even though she's got the credentials, basically Hank doesn't want to hire her because he's attracted to her.
Yeah. What a boy, Hank, though. I feel like most men, if they were attracted to a woman, would be like, okay, not enough. Welcome aboard.
No problem. Yeah, bring him on. Peggy is able to pretty much see right through Hank because obviously she knows her husband and sees that there was something going on there for him to turn her down.
And he gets aroused when they start talking about a meeting between the two of them. That's the word I'm looking for.
A rendezvous?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is when I remember I missed this so many times. I watched this episode a dozen times or whatever throughout the years, and I didn't even notice this scene here where after they make love that Hank is obviously stunned with himself.
Or where his mind went.
Yeah, exactly. And then, he immediately throws her resume in the trash.
Yeah. Like a responsible man, a responsible husband.
If he was thinking about what was best for Strickland Propane, though, he would have hired her because she was the best candidate for the job.
Yeah, it's hard for Hank to overlook what's best for Strickland Propane.
He's blinded here by not just wanting to find an out from hiring Maria, doing anything to not hire her, that he just flies through Leon's interview and asks him a whole bunch of nonsense questions about sports and how much he loves propane.
Does he love God?
And he doesn't even take a second glance at his credentials, which come up later. And they all are actually stays at a halfway house or drug recovery center. Hank thinks he used to work there.
That's awesome. I wonder if that's ever worked before.
Probably.
Oh, Peggy.
Yeah. And she basically says that the only time you'll be thinking of Maria is when you close your eyes and kiss me. Oh, we can already see that Leon might not be exactly the up and go getter that Hank thought he was, because he arrives 3 hours late.
If my boss got me donuts on my first day, I'd be so happy.
Me too, eh? Yeah, that's such a nice gesture.
It is, for sure.
And then to repay that by being 3 hours late.
Yeah, that's unexcusable.
And then, yeah, he comes up with this obvious cock and bullshit story about how he brought some lady's cat to the vet or something like that because she might buy propane.
That was a really long story, Leon.
Yeah, that's how you know it's true.
It's funny because that's how junkies are.
It's true. Yeah, I've known a few of them.
Yeah.
Professionally.
I didn't even keep personally, unfortunately.
But Leon is fading fast here. He needs his next hit because he can't pay attention to all the stuff Hank is telling him about, asking for lunchtime.
Coming at him like a whirlwind with the facts about drills.
Comes out totally high, completely doped out.
I love this. This is one of my favorite things ever.
Hey, Leon, you might want to unwrap that sandwich now. Lunch has been over for about 20 minutes.
Okay, Coach.
Well, it's just so absurd. It's just...
Yeah, to be fair, Hank is the kind of guy that would probably not notice someone addicted to drugs. He's definitely
Fair enough.
He's so naive when it comes to that kind of stuff that he would overlook all the telltale signs.
Probably not acquainted with them, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
He gave us the dope dealer Strickland's number.
T-Man? Oh. Strickland Propane, taste the heat, not the meat.
Lord, no!
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I didn't even notice that. That's a great point. Yeah, that's why he rushed to the phone. But he screws up Strickland's signature slogan, which is taste the meat, not the heat, by reversing it.
Hank hires Bobby. Oh, for fruit pies. Work for fruit pies.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's come in to work for fruit pies. And Leon's got the munchies, it would seem. Dumps all of it on Hank's desk.
I watched this one with Sylvie, and she's a paralegal. And imagine someone walking into her office and dumping her files on the floor.
Yeah, he says he's got a whole new filing system, and he just screws everything up. And this is where Bobby learns that Leon is a drug addict, and basically tells the whole family that his dad hired a drug addict.
We were from that generation where we got all the drug specials in school.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah, all the assemblies and stuff like that.
Yeah, the assemblies, yeah.
And like public speakers and stuff like that would come in and tell us not to do drugs.
Yeah. Then we legalized marijuana.
And yeah, here's where Hank learns that his credentials aren't because he worked at the halfway house, because he went to the halfway house for rehab. But yeah, he was just so desperate not to hire Maria that he just overlooked everything.
I didn't realize that was the whole, like, why he hired Leon was because he was attracted to Maria. I overlooked that until we reviewed this episode.
Yeah. And then we got Leon here just drooling all over the floor with a bug landing on him, a fly landing on him.
An elderly lady client.
Yeah. Hank finally has had enough. Took him 2 days or 3 days. And he decides that he's going to fire Leon, basically, and gives him the information to go to another rehab center, and lovingly actually tells him to get himself some help.
Yeah, Hank does a really good job in this scene of letting Leon go.
Yeah, he doesn't chastise him really. He actually fires him with a great deal of empathy and gives him the resources he needs to actually try and turn his life around. And it ends up completely blowing up in Hank's face. Joe Jack, he's in the parking lot and he looks disgruntled. But by not hiring him before 5 o'clock, he basically brings the wrath of some twig boy bureaucrat down on him. And this guy really reminds me of the guy from the pilot episode.
The exact same guy.
Is it the exact same guy?
Yeah. He asks for a latte again.
Oh, it is the exact same guy.
Yeah, thanks for the latte, Leon.
Yeah, bringing down another government bureaucrat down on him for basically hiring him and then not taking into account his quote-unquote disability.
The Disabilities Act.
Yep. So basically, long story short here, because Leon is a drug addict, that is considered a disability under the American Disabilities Act. And because Strickland Propane is a business of 15 or more employees, they basically cannot fire him for his disability. And not only that, they're forced to make accommodations for him, basically. First off, he says that he's got to be there at 8. And he's like, no, I got my methadone at 8. And then by coming here by 11, I'll feel pretty good. And then we actually had a commenter in our previous episode reference this episode, what Hank's quote where he says, I don't want my employees hopped up on Goofenthal.
Helped up on Goofenthal.
I've actually,
What? I'm not going to let you come to work late, all hopped up on Goofenthal.
actually known quite a few people who've been on methadone, and it's actually a myth. It doesn't get you high. It's basically supposed to like cut out the adverse effects of detox. Doesn't actually
That's all it does?
No, yeah, it doesn't actually get you high.
Huh.
Yep. Totally useless information.
Yep. I guess the more you know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Leon needs the lights dimmed.
Yeah, he's got to have the lights dimmed, and he gets a futon at his desk, and Joe is obviously upset about this discriminatory treatment, and it's hard to blame him. If I were Joe Jack, I would be upset.
I would be upset, but I wouldn't be upset to the point where I would claim a bullshit disability as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You are setting everyone up for this exact scenario. By enforcing the American Disabilities Act, everyone's going to come up with their own disability and join in. Because what is the incentive to work hard here? There is no incentive to work hard.
It's for the joy of working hard.
That's fair, but a lot of people are not going to see it that way.
Sure they are.
Okay. And Debbie here shushes Peggy, and she gets triggered. I get triggered too. I do not like being shushed, and I think most people don't.
I know, that's why I like shushing people.
I don't know. You never watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, do you?
No.
Okay, there's an episode about shushing that I always think about whenever someone shushes me, but it's not important for this. So unfortunately, Peggy comes in and realizes that, yeah, everyone is just completely refusing to work. And Strickland gets this great idea, quote unquote, to have Hank go to Dallas to get all the drugs that he can and put him around Leon so they can fire him.
I love how the Strickland thinks you have to go all the way to Dallas just to get drug.
Yeah. Yeah. Hank found crack in Arlen, so yeah, he doesn't have to go that far.
That was McMain or Barry.
Oh, okay, sorry. And we also get Hank's legendary monologue here, where he suffers from GWS, or good worker syndrome.
I have the same ailment.
And the bureaucrat tells him that he makes him sick. People who abuse the system.
It used to be a common condition among Americans.
Ew. People like you who abuse the system ruin it for the rest of us, the truly disabled.
I have no idea how Hank kept his cool in that moment. I don't think anybody would have.
No kidding. His final line that is crossed where Leon demands to be called Hank Hill, and Hank up and quits.
Not up to you, Hank. It's up to Hank.
Fuck, so many good quotes in this episode. But as Strickland says here, now that there are only 14 employees, they are small enough to skirt the law, and he instantly fires Leon and gets everybody back to work.
Like God intended.
Yeah, except for Debbie.
Yeah.
We get the ending scene here, and I'm assuming this is a dream of some sort.
Yeah, this one always pissed me off that Strickland would do that to Hank.
Yeah, brings him back, but he's got to have a session of probation.
Yeah, and reduced pay.
And yeah, I'm assuming this is some sort of dream because they bring back Maria Montalvo, who comes in and immediately grabs Hank's ass. Joe Jack ends it with, Peggy's in the parking lot, and she looks disgruntled.
Oh, what a great wife.
Yeah. So absolutely great episode here. And we end with a little scene where Hank is preparing piss cups for all the employees now. I guess they're getting drug testing.
Oh, why? I never understood why he was doing that. Like, what's he going to send him to the lab?
I don't exactly know, why he was doing that either. But anyway, it's a weird ending, right?
It was a very weird ending.
kind of a weird, abrupt ending. But I don't think that takes away from how excellent this episode is. I think it's one that definitely stands up. It's a great satire of American work culture, and I think this kind of stuff has gotten more and more prevalent over time.
Got a whole bunch more, I don't feel like. It hasn't changed that much.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it hasn't changed that much, but it's still...
It's definitely changed. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But it's still definitely an issue. What do you rate this one, Mitch?
It's an easy 9 for me.
Okay, you are going to go that high because I'm going to give it a 9 as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent episode. And yeah, I have no major complaints about it. And I just think, especially every time I rewatch it, I see something different. I learn something a little bit new. And it's also just got so many great quotes. It's got one of my favorite Dale quotes of all time. Just awesome laughs from start to finish and a great message as well. Perfect formulas for an excellent King of the Hill episode.
And probably a top 5 Hank Hill monologue for me.
Yeah, for the good
Top
worker
5,
syndrome. Yeah, it is definitely legendary. And oddly enough, the King of the Hill community doesn't seem to be as up on this as we are, giving it a mediocre 7.5 on the IMDb scale. And I was shocked when I saw that. I thought it would be a lot higher than that, but I guess not everybody loves it as much as we do.
No.
On tap for us next week is another great episode, I think. Not as quite as good as this one, but definitely has a very interesting message. This is Life in the Fast Lane, Bobby's Saga. And do you remember this one? This is where he gets a job at the racetrack.
Yeah. For Jimmy Wishart.
Yeah, for Jimmy Wishart, and it's a great episode, and it looks into the reverse almost of this episode, where we see what happens when you have a crappy employee. This one's about what happens when you have a crappy boss.
Yeah, and then and no amount of go-getter attitude in the world can help you there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for another episode, and we'll see you next week.
All right, guys, thanks for watching.
Take her easy. Bye now.
Look, right here. Institute. Place.
Uncle Hank, you're in denial.
Yeah, Dad. You're what Too Tall Jones called a codependent enabler.
Well, Leon does do a lot of vomiting, even for a new employee.